Welcome, another episode, Dr. James Beckett Sports Card Insights here with Doug Kale, my friend Doug. We're going to talk about ways to sell cards, including Amazon, eBay, Facebook, other, digital platforms for selling cards to people that you don't know. Whereas in the old days, you were mainly selling cards to people that you could see face to face or that you knew either through the mail. Doug and I, our first contact was exchanging stuff through the mail. I think I was sending Doug checks and he was sending me publications, or maybe it went the other way at some point as well. But first, thanks to the sponsors, Topps Panini Upper Deck, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication, ComC.com, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, as well as my friend Rob Barris at Burbank Sports Cards and my friend Mike Fruitman at Mike's Stadium Sports Cards. So great sponsors. Patronize them. Just because we're going to talk about Amazon and eBay and Facebook, that is no slight on the Beckett Marketplace or ComC or any other. Actually, all the card companies now are selling cards on their own platforms as well. But I got some cards. So Doug is going to be a little bit of a consultant here. We're going to talk about, we tap into some of his vast hobby knowledge and experience of what's going on in Amazon and eBay and Facebook. So have you sold stuff? And why would you pick one over the other for some of the stuff?
Well, I think of all the different outlets out there, eBay is still probably the most widely used and accessed by collectors, from what I've been hearing.
I think that's accepted, yes. In fact, it's very accepted. So let's just say they're in first place. But what you're saying is that these others are not insignificant. They're significant.
Correct. And there's actually one other one that wasn't mentioned that is really gaining steam. I didn't mention it earlier, but Instagram. There are people doing videos, auction videos or selling videos on Instagram.
Is kind of the platform of choice for. I thought it was for more younger people. It skews them a little bit younger than Facebook.
It is. I think some of the younger collectors today, I'd say most of the younger collectors today that I've been seeing are on Instagram.
They're on there, but that's where they're using, and so they're doing it with a video format.
They're doing a video format
with live auctions.
Yes.
Huh.
And
they're probably breaking.
Breaking product, selling individual product. It seems to be, I know Facebook also offers that, but Instagram skews younger. And so if you're reaching a younger basketball audience or a younger football audience, that might be the way to go.
Okay. And, is it first come, first serve? Or are these, you and I grew up in the age where there were multiples of cards. Now cards being, let's say more scarce or, serially numbered, you don't have a big stack of them. You've got to sell cards one at a time sometimes.
Right.
And they're still doing that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, box break's a good example. When you're breaking it open, whoever finds the first autograph card, they can start bidding right there. I'll give you 10, I'll give you 20, I'll give you 30.
So you could be on Instagram. I have two things I want to sell, and I've mentioned this in one of the episodes. I've got, I want to do some eBay experiments. And what you're pointing out is that I may be too limiting to think that it's an eBay experiment. It might be it's a sales experiment. That I have a certain thing that I want to sell, and I should see, is it going to sell better with eBay in an auction format as opposed to a buy it now? Or is it better on Amazon? Or is it better on Instagram or Facebook?
Right.
And it might be, what's your sense of that? That the velocity of the sales or the highest prices or, that you'd sell it quicker and higher at one as opposed to the other?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can get enough of the big buyers on Facebook or Instagram, then
if it's a bigger buyer type item,
if it's a bigger buyer, but
as opposed to our auction sponsors, if you got a 52 Topps mantle, I don't think you're going to put it. You're going to go to Heritage or
right. If you're talking big high dollar cards, then I would go to Heritage. Yeah. Right. Those are the type. Yeah.
So $50 card. You got a $50 card. What do you do with it?
Well, to me, right now, I would either do either eBay or maybe Facebook, because there's some vintage sports card or new sports card people that are buying, selling, and auctioning on eBay. on Facebook.
So you would be part of a Facebook group?
Yes, you have to be. Okay. Yes.
And then again, is that limiting, or is there a lot of referrals from that? If something got out there and somebody saw it, there'd be enough interest?
Yes, because you could also share a post to many more people, and they can share it again. And that's the power of social media.
And Instagram's the same way.
Same thing with Instagram, right?
And why would you pick Instagram over Facebook?
Well, it might be if you're going for a much younger audience.
Yeah, okay. So newer cards maybe?
Cards, definitely newer cards.
The other thing I want to sell that I'm going to be pulling out is I've got some back issues of the magazines, of the baseball and other magazines, and not a lot, but a few. And I'm just thinking it's time for me to release them. They're not doing any good sitting in a box. And so where would I sell those?
That's
it's a publication.
Yeah, publications is a different story as opposed to cards. And I would actually, I think they would do better on Amazon because Amazon's known for books and magazines and publications. People turn to that as soon as a new book is released. They turn to Amazon. So if they're looking for reference guides, they're going to turn to Amazon first.
And again, you're recommending, I guess, more of a fixed price orientation.
Yes.
As opposed to auctioning. I mean, I don't need to have two bidders that are bidding something way up. I just need there's a fair price for it, get it in the hands of somebody who wants it.
Right. And a lot of times you could ask a certain price on Amazon and get it because it might not be available in other avenues.
Well, have you done Craigslist?
Long time ago, not recently.
Was it just sketchy sometimes?
It is. So many people have told me stories about Craigslist, so I've kind of stayed away from that.
Even though that has more of a, does Facebook have a local option?
No, unless you create a group that's, let's say, the Dallas
DFW area or something.
DFW area, right.
Okay. Which would be limiting, but again, when you're talking about things that have weight,
right,
the shipping can be, I was looking on eBay because I was doing comparative, like I said, I want to do some experiments. I looked on eBay and there was some back issues of the public. I thought, well, I've got some of those back issues. I can sell those. And for 50 back issues or something of a baseball magazine, it was $36. Wow. And I thought, well, it's less than $1 a piece. Then I read the fine print, $72 shipping.
Yeah.
And I went, whoa.
Well, they shouldn't be charging that. If it's for publications, you can send it media mail and charge.
They claim you can, but sometimes if there's ads in there, the media mail, that's
the way I've shipped them.
Was mostly supposed to be for books back in the day.
Yeah.
And that was a slow boat. That was a 6-week delivery. Okay. So Instagram, I wouldn't. What about Pinterest?
Yeah, there's people that are on Pinterest, but
that's
the way they do it is
that's less sports, I think.
There's sports cards on. There's a lot of memorabilia on there, but the way they do it is they post pictures of the items, and then when you click on that image, it links back to their website.
And to the person's website.
It goes right back to the person's website, and they got you. Now you have you on their website. They got you captivated, and you can
show you other stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, for the seller.
Yeah.
Get a chance to do that. And Amazon versus eBay, they're the big gorillas in e-commerce, I think, for Amazon being originally books and now everything, and eBay being Pez dispensers or whatever the folklore is, and now, again, pretty much everything.
Yeah, one thing that I've noticed on eBay lately in the last several years that the more higher dollar items used to have where everything was auctioned off on eBay. Yeah. Now, it's got buy it now.
There's a lot more
because they're afraid of losing money. If it's a $500 card, they started out at $10. It might only sell for $200.
Right.
Whereas you're asking to buy it now, you're guaranteed to get that $500 buy it now price. So, I mean, I know that's kind of the same thing on a lot of these other websites.
What is your sense of, we talked about Craigslist, and I don't think Craigslist was not set up to have, it was set up to be kind of a very independent, not anarchy, but very, very loose structure. Mm-hmm. Whereas eBay and Amazon, Facebook and Instagram also have negative PR is bad for them. Right. And so which one of those do you think has better measures for policing and protecting the consumer? They all have to have some concern about that. Do you have any heartburn about that when you're putting things on any one of those places?
Yes, because I know that both of them have some sort of, they stand by the buyer, both of them.
To a fault sometimes.
Right. If someone's not happy with the product, they contact Amazon or eBay and say, I want to return it. And
almost no questions asked.
No questions asked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you are paying a fee for those two areas because you're getting protection. Whereas on Facebook, you're not doing that, or Instagram or Craigslist. You're not paying an extra fee to list it or when you're buying.
Right.
So, it's understandable.
Do you know any hobby people that are doing the FBA, the Fulfill by Amazon, where the stuff is up there in one of the Amazon warehouses? Or does that require so much volume
that's got to be big volume?
You'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of some people doing that, but I hope to never have that kind of volume. I just remember back in the day, and you were there, when the magazines were selling like hotcakes, and our company was doing great, and just the magazines getting them out was tricky. Was labor. It was a lot of labor.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's word of mouth, because I remember walking by a newsstand. And because when I was working on the Pokemon publication or one of those, and hearing kids go, "Oh my God, there's the new issue!" I remember hearing that. I'm sure they say the same thing for baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the new issue. I got to see if the new cards are listed. They'd go out and purchase it.
Yeah. What are you buying and selling these days because you're not working in the industry anymore. So what is your, and so where is your firsthand knowledge of some of these platforms? I mean, I know you do a lot in the Hot Wheels. Are you scouring for price research on these places or?
Both.
In eBay, wouldn't eBay and Amazon be easier to, I mean, scrape is the kind of the term, but I mean, are Facebook and Instagram they seem like they'd be more difficult to scrape or to exhaustively find.
Yeah, they are. But Facebook's becoming a little bit easier because, people post things for sale on there with the price and they have to market the items sold now.
Yeah.
So it's sold, and that's a good indication of what the prices are going for. But lately I've been heavily, because of Luka on the Mavericks, I'm a big Mavericks fan. I've been collecting a lot of his rookie cards and, I've gotten back more into the newer product now.
Yeah, well, that's one of the, we had a dry spell there in Dallas for a few years and now it's Luka mania. So that's very cool.
Porzingis.
Porzingis is
great players.
Yeah. And fun to watch. So I think, I think there's a dynamic element of the sport. And when, you've been involved with sports, but you've also been involved with, non-sports in our company and in your eclectic, collecting interest. But, I guess the fun thing about these online digital platforms is that they take on all comers. And so somebody with your experience and diverse knowledge, are you more of because I've talked about at the dinner about how I have less collecting focus now than I ever have. And that's kind of a good thing. Okay. In the sense it allows me to just, look around and not be limited to, I'm only interested in this, but I have a wide degree, and it seems like you have a wide degree of interest. And so are you more of an opportunistic buyer when you go to a card show or you're looking on eBay, Amazon, you're able to recognize a good deal and pull the trigger? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or are you thinking, even though it's a good deal, I'm not interested. I'm going to get this Luka card. Even though it's fully priced. When you could get the Jalen Brunson for 1/3 of what it's worth.
Right. No, I do look for good deals out there. I mean, who wouldn't?
Well, some people don't. There are people in the industry, they're not looking for good deals. They're focused. They're looking for their guy.
Yeah.
Their player, their celebrity, their the card, and they have a short list. And they are so focused that there could be something terrific. It's like buying a car. If you're buying a car and you want to buy a certain kind of car, it doesn't matter if there's a car right next to it that's not the right color or the right year or the right brand. And even though it's a steal because it was whatever, something happened to it that made it be a bargain, that the dealer got a fabulous trade-in on it or there's a rebate or something. But it's like that. So I'm with you. When I go to a show, it's not fun to think I'm only interested in this short list of cards.
Right, because there's so many other things
out there.
Right.
Yeah. And again, eBay, Amazon, and like you're saying, Facebook and Instagram, it's the long tail is extremely long there because everybody could have different things.
Just a suggestion, for like heritage auctions, there's so many great auction houses out there. I think they should have a live broadcast of the auction on Instagram or Facebook. I think that would draw a lot more attention. Or even have a portion of it and tease them. This is what you're missing.
Exactly. And I think, Topps just did their million card rip party, which was an attempt, and they streamed it live, and people could see snippets and whatever they want like that. But yeah, digital, being there is fun, but seeing it is also fun. Doug, thanks for sharing these memories and your perspectives on these digital platforms. They're here to stay. Sports cards are here to stay. So hopefully we provided some insights for listeners to consider these other platforms. I'm a statistics guy. I think you ought to experiment and you ought to see what's going to work, what's not going to work, what works better. And the wonderful thing is there's a lot of alternatives out there. And even if you're selling the most popular players, they'll sell anywhere. I'm always wondering, where do the unpopular players sell? And the answer isn't they don't sell. They do sell, but at a price and a rapidity that's indicative of their popularity or lack thereof. But everything can eventually find a buyer at the right price. So thanks, Doug. Thanks, listeners. Be back again tomorrow with another episode.